We're going to have a look at the attribute system within ProStix, how to set up attributes, and how to attach them to either products, customers, or suppliers. Attributes allow you to store all manner of information, whether it is extra contact or marketing information against customers, or extra grouping information against products, enabling you to produce more targeted reports and make better business decisions. Let's have a look at the attribute system now. Firstly, through the System Administration, System Setup menus, the Attributes option, Define Attributes, is where you can set up the global list of attributes that you want to have available throughout the system. In this example, we're going to concentrate on customer attributes. The concepts and processes shown here are applicable across the product and supplier attributes also. When first accessing the attribute table, the list is more than likely going to be empty, so we'll already be in add mode. If it isn't empty, use the F6 function key to go into add mode. The first thing required is an attribute category. This is free form and allows you to put your attributes into groups. If you needed to set up some attributes for the credit department, you might use a category of credit. In this example, I'm going to be setting up some CRM type data, so I'm going to use a category of CRM. Next, I need to give the attribute a name. I want to capture my customers' birth dates, so the attribute name is going to be birth date. The data type is used to control the type of data entered by the user when keying in the attribute value. I can F3 search this field, and in this example I'm going to select date, as I want the user to enter a date value into the field. Lastly, the mandatory field. This determines whether or not this attribute should be loaded against all current customers and any new customers upon creation. In this example, I know I'm not going to have the birth date for every customer, so I'm going to leave this field as no. That is an example of one attribute setup completed. I will now set up a couple for the credit department. I'm going to set up one field to store the legal name of the customer. It's just going to be a character input, and another credit being the PIMSI number. In this case it has to be a number, so I'm just going to select an integer field. The attributes set up so far have been set up to allow the user to enter data into the attribute value against the customer. Now I want to set up an attribute that will give the user a selection of values to choose from when adding the attribute to the customer. In this example, I want to capture what market segment the customer fits into, and I want it to be a controlled list of options. I'm going to add this attribute now. It's going to be another CRM attribute. I'll call it segment. It's going to be a character field. The difference now is that if I press enter on the attribute, I can set up the list of valid options for the attribute. I'll just add a couple as examples. If I mark one of these values as default on a mandatory attribute, then not only will the attribute be added to the customer, but when it is added, the default value will already be populated. Now that the attributes have been defined, let's have a look at how I attach them to my customers and store the values. From the Accounts Receivable Customer Maintenance option, I'll select a customer to attach my attributes to. I know my customer number, so I can key it straight in and go to my customer. To fill out the attributes value, there is an option all the way down the right hand side for attributes. So if I key in AT, it will take me down there and into the option. Once again, the list is empty, so I'm already in add mode. If not, press the F6 key to go into add mode. The first thing is attribute category. If I search this field, you will see the two categories just defined in the setup. First, we will select the credit attribute category and then search the attribute and pick up the legal name. Then enter the value. Still in add mode, so we'll add another, and this time select the CRM category and the segment attribute. If I try to key in a value, it will tell me that there is a list predefined and I have to select an entry from the list. So this time I'll press F3 to search and select the appropriate value from the list. In the last example, once again I'll select the CRM category and this time the birth date attribute. If I key in a birth date, the system will tell me how it expects the data to be entered. So in this case it expects the date to be entered in date, month, year with slashes in between it. So this time I'll key in some better data. This data validation is similar for the other data types. Only character attributes will allow anything to be entered without validation. All my customer attributes have now been entered, so I can exit the attributes and I'm now finished. As mentioned earlier, the attribute setup and entry for products and suppliers is the same as that shown for customers, the only difference being where the attribute values are entered. In supplier maintenance, the attribute values can be found through the new More Data option. In product maintenance, the attributes are also found within the More Data option. You see there, More Data attributes. Once attributes are entered, because of the wide variety of uses, any reporting of the customers, products, suppliers and their attributes is done through reporting tools such as our query tool or external packages such as Crystal or Cognos. I hope this video has helped you in understanding the attribute system within ProStix. If you require any further information, please refer to our community site or contact our support team. Thank you for watching.